Hi everyone, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday, the 24th of January 2019. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I'm using the Gate Tarot for today's reading, and as I shuffle, I ask the cards, what is the energy of the day going to be about? And the tarot, being the amazing divination system that it is, will give me a very detailed answer. So these readings are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everyone who watches, so please share this with your friends and your family and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's see what this day is all about. We've got the Nine of Swords, we have the Man of Wands, and then we have the Moon. Okay, so the Nine of Swords represents worry and fear. So in this case, it looks like a father whose son has joined the Air Force, and he's really worried that something's going to happen to him. So he's lying in bed, or he's wanting to go to bed, but he's really worried that something's going to happen to his son. So there's something outside of his control, something negative that he's worried about, and it's taking up all of his time. So the ego is in full force today. It's trying to prevent you from moving on with your life and doing something fiery and passionate and something that you really care about. The Man of Wands being like the King of Wands, something that is a passion and is part of your life purpose, by keeping you from living that purpose through worry. Remember that worrying is a meditation on the negative, and the more you worry, the more you focus on anything, the bigger it becomes. So you can really, when you're angry on the phone and you're talking and you start off a little bit annoyed, but the more and more you talk about it, the angrier and angrier and angrier you become. It's like this man, maybe there was one plane here that he started with, and then he said, oh yeah, but there are so many things that can go wrong. You can be shot down in error, or something can go wrong with the machinery, or he may be in the wrong plane that wasn't designated to be his, or the fuel may run out, and it's the same thing. You can dig yourself a hole. The more you worry, the more worried you can become. And also, worrying is a meditation, and it's a way of manifesting negative things in your life. So the ego is trying to prevent you from taking action by really keeping you stuck and keeping you in a state of negativity, worry, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So when that comes in, don't let yourself be hooked by it. When the worry comes in, say to this first plane, I don't have any control of what happens. I'm handing that over to the universe, and I have no power over the situation. And let it come in one ear and go out the other, because the reality is this elderly gentleman in his slippers really doesn't have any control of what happens to his son on an Air Force base. He can't intervene. Anything can happen, and really there's nothing he can do to salvage the situation apart from telling his son, stop working in this field that you absolutely love, and that would cause conflict between them. So let the thought come in and out, and what really helps with this kind of thing is meditation, because when you meditate, you realize what's going on in your head. You get distracted in a meditation practice, and you start to notice the things that are distracting you and the things that are on your mind. You become very self-aware and self-conscious of what the worries and what the thoughts are. So by seeing them from a little bit of a detached perspective, you're able to let go of them and allow them to kind of exit your mind, because you see them for what they are. Simply ways the ego is trying to sabotage you. Now, the King of Wands is a man who is living his true purpose, his life passion, this young man wanted to be a police officer, a lieutenant, ever since he was a little boy, and he's devoted his life to that, and he's living his dream, and he's now someone who upholds the law, and he's a representation of that institution, and he's always wanted to be in that institution. Now, the Man of Wands is someone who is living his life purpose. He's passionate. He feels like he's doing something that's not just a job for the money. He feels like he's doing it because he genuinely cares, and that it's the best way to use his skills and talents, and it fulfills him. It makes him really happy. It gives him a sense of identity. It makes him proud at the end of the day that he's made a contribution, and it gives him a sense of, my presence here on planet Earth is meaningful. And fire, we all know, can be warming, and it can bring light, and it can bring comfort. You know, by sitting near a fire when it's snowing outside, it can be very comforting and romantic and beautiful. But fire can also destroy. It can be aggressive, and it can be physically strong. So he embodies both of these sides of the element of fire, and it's quite interesting that they've drawn it as a policeman, because I've never seen it in this format. He's a perfect example. He's fulfilled in his job. He likes what he does, but sometimes he also needs to handcuff people, and he needs to overpower them physically, and he needs to interrogate them and get the answers and things like that. So sometimes he needs to use his anger and his passion to do his job. So he's someone who's really taking charge of his own life. He's a leader. He's someone who is independent. He thinks independently. He's ambitious, and he wants to get to the top. So he's not just a policeman. This is a guy who has dreams. He wants to get to the very top of the food chain, and he ultimately wants to be the head of police. So this is the fiery energy that we've been given this week, which is all about being able to fulfill your dreams and your passions and your desires. But today, the ego doesn't want you to succeed, and it's going to try and trap you through worry. So you're aware of that now. When worry comes in, instead of worrying, actually do a meditation practice or yoga or exercise, whatever gets you out of that headspace, because we all know what this feels like, and we all know that we can put an end to it by doing something else. And by getting rid of the worry, you can actually live your passion, live in this fire. And finally, we've got the moon. And the moon is usually a card that represents walking a pathway that's full of uncertainty and being scared, and walking it anyway because you feel like it's your destiny, it's your path. And it's so interesting that in this case, in this deck, we've got the moon, and we've got two lovers here. And what that means is, when you embrace the uncertainty, and when you live your true purpose and your passion, and you don't let worry stop you, and you don't let self-doubt and fear get in the way, you can live with worry and you can live with self-doubt, but you don't need to let it control you. You can have the most beautiful, passionate experiences, even though life isn't perfect, and life is never going to be 100% perfect. You know, even if you're in the throes of passion and desire, your foot may hurt, or you may be concerned about your elderly grandparents who's currently in the hospital. But that doesn't mean that you have to stop living your life. And today it's about embracing things that are uncertain and replacing the fear you've got about those things with faith. Faith in yourself, faith that you have things that you care about, that you're passionate about, and that you have some control in your life, and that you can enjoy the things that you're doing. And here the moon, rather than being on this journey to some abstract, far in the distance goal of enlightenment, it's right here in the moment. So what the card is saying is that by being in the present moment and living consciously, and by being aware of your feelings and not letting the negative ones stop you, but continuing to be creative and to be passionate and to be powerful, that's going to reward you. Life is going to reward you for taking that risk by bringing romance into your life, by bringing a connection into your life that's really passionate. So it can be another person, or it can be really finding something or someone that you really want to nurture and take care of, or it can bring out a spiritual side in you that you didn't realize was there, and you form a connection with that. So the worry and the fear, by not giving into that, can suddenly and miraculously connect you with a loving higher power of your understanding that suddenly appears in your life. Or you can also keep these fears and doubt at bay by being creative and by expressing yourself through art or music or writing. You know, let's say this man wasn't a policeman, but he was a writer. And that's what his real passion is, to write and to educate the world. Then, by letting go of the negative thoughts and focusing on his talent, he could really express something beautiful and wonderful, which would then help his readers. And he could even write about how to overcome fear and to replace it with something that is much more satisfying and fulfilling and passionate and joyous and beautiful. So it's a day of not letting yourself be intimidated by the ego. Let go of the ego. Have faith that you are someone who can achieve great things, that you enjoy certain things for a reason, and today is your day to shine. Embrace the uncertainty, do it anyway. As Susan Jeffers would say, feel the fear and do it anyway, because it will lead to you being touched, either literally or in a very tender, emotional way, that you find something or someone who really moves you internally and will make you want to nurture and take care of that thing or that person. Or it can really bring love and romance into your life. While you're going about your business, you're rewarded with a wonderful new relationship that starts. And this is the Gay Tarot, and I've never seen the moon represented with lovers in the picture. It's usually about this path of uncertainty that you have to walk, that's frightening, and that you have to walk alone. And here it's saying that by walking this path alone, you'll be rewarded. You'll make a connection with something that you could have never even imagined, and that's beyond your wildest dreams. So hooray for you. Good for you. Don't let the negativity get you down. Empower yourself, go for it, and the day really has a lot of rewards in store for you that it wants to shower you with, and it wants to bless you. So we've got 15, 16, 17, 18, and 9 is 27, and 1 is 28. 2 and 8 is 10. 10 reduces to 1 in numerology, and 1 is the man of wands. It's about being in charge, taking control of the situation, being the boss, being the person who takes the initiative, who decides what direction to go in, and who really is in control of his own feelings and passions and desires, and decides which path he's going to walk in. So take your power back today, and something wonderful is going to come of that. It's like that is a fundamental law of the universe, that the universe does reward those who take risks. And worrying is a meditation on the negative, and that's another law. If you spend your time worrying all the time, you will create more things to worry about, and you will incapacitate yourself to the point where you can really invent fears that have nothing to do with your life. So step into your power and enjoy a wonderful, beautiful day. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with on Thursday the 24th. If you'd like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology. So if you'd like a private reading with me, then click the book your reading button on the front page, or just click on the readings tab to order your reading. If you like the video, like I said before, please share it and hit the subscribe button, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.